So you mentioned you've been in India, Bharat as we like to call it.
Bharat, yes.
Yes.
Ancient.
Since last year. So how has Bharat treated you so far?
Well, I would say it's one of the most friendliest countries I've encountered in my on my journey since almost 2 years now. It's hard not to be smashed by the hospitality of the Indian people, and it doesn't really matter if you go east or west, north or south. It's pretty much the same level of hospitality and friendliness of the people. What changes is maybe a little bit the food, although I would still say there's a lot in common there. I mean, there's always a curry, right? And maybe landscape a little bit. So it's also a very diverse landscape in this country, which I find astonishing that you don't even have to go that far, to see so many wonders of nature. So yeah, that's been wonderful for me so far.
Well, hi and welcome to once again yet another episode of the Gen Zen, and it's good to have you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Right.
Let's see what I can contribute.
Okay, so would you like to go about yourself, where you're from, and how did you end up in the ashram?
Gladly. So originally I'm from Russia. At the age of 20, I moved to Switzerland and spent another 20 years there. And at one point, I discovered Sadhguru on YouTube, and I decided to pursue that. And I did a series of kriyas on my own. At one point, I accomplished Shambhavi online. And I would say that's how my journey started. That led me all the way here. So here I am.
Okay. And this name, Maya, is it your parents' name given to you, or?
Well, here I must say that I must thank my mom's imagination, because it doesn't have any spiritual meaning or any meaning for that matter in Russia and in cultural background. But if you want some explanation, it would be born in May, which I am actually born in May. That's why Maya.
Oh, I see.
So simple, isn't it?
Do you know the Sanskrit meaning of Maya?
Yes, I heard multiple times.
Okay.
Throughout my journey in India last year, where every second person would say, Maya, really? Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Great. So you mentioned you've been in India, Bharat as we like to call it.
Bharat, yes.
Yes.
Ancient.
Since last year. So how has Bharat treated you so far?
Well, I would say it's one of the most friendliest countries I've encountered in on my journey since almost 2 years now. It's hard not to be smashed by the hospitality of the Indian people, and it doesn't really matter if you go east or west, north or south. It's pretty much the same level of hospitality and friendliness of the people. What changes is maybe a little bit the food, although I would still say there's a lot in common there. I mean, there's always a curry, right? And maybe landscape a little bit. So it's also a very diverse landscape in this country, which I find astonishing that you don't even have to go that far, to see so many wonders of nature. So yeah, that's been wonderful for me so far.
That's really nice to know. Well, just before we started this, we had a conversation where you mentioned that you've been inclined towards spirituality, like you went to the Buddhist monasteries in Dharamsala, and of course many Tibetan places that you like. So would you like to share more about that?
Yes, let's try. I can't really say that I'm inclined to spirituality. There's always a search in every person, I would say, of every age. And as you progress, this search becomes deeper, and you're not satisfied anymore with the superficial pleasures of what of what your surrounding can offer you. So then, if you're lucky enough, you you'll be able to look above it and discover something more. So that's, and yet I must say that I'm quite a skeptical person when it comes to spirituality and religion especially. So when I discovered Sadhguru and I heard how he talks about it, his take on it, how he connects the worldly, the world and the spirituality, which is for me a little bit, beyond it. When I say world, I mean material world. It found a lot of agreement deep down, and I guess I didn't call it spirituality anymore. I just called it the true meaning of life. And then you just take one step at a time, and it turns out you are a spiritual seeker at one point.
But how did Sadhguru and Isha really happen to you?
I would say first happened Sadhguru and then Isha. So after I discovered him on YouTube and I just started, I just threw myself into it. I had to see everything there was to see. I had to listen to him nonstop. I was just, like drinking. I was so thirsty. And when I thought there was nothing left, then the Kriyas started, the common Isha Kriya, like the one that started it all for me. After I've done it for a while, I noticed a significant change inside, and I thought I need to do more. And then finally I signed up for Shambhavi online, and there was a huge shift in me. And somehow I came across sadhana pada openings, and I thought, okay, that would be the next step. Unfortunately, I didn't get accepted for the one happening now, but I'm actually hoping to get next one, 2026, we'll see.
Tathastu.
So, as I said, it was unfolding by itself. There's nothing much you have to do. You just have to go with it. You have to give it all. You shouldn't hold back. You should open yourself up. And even though sadhana pada didn't happen to me last year, I still decided to come all the way here and discover it for myself. And I ended up spending a whole month. I volunteered a little bit. I just, but mainly I was a guest because I just wanted to, I'm a person who observes in peace and quiet. I need to just sit and, watch everything happening slowly. And that's what I did. And the world that I discovered for myself last year here at Isha was probably beyond my imagination. I clearly remember thinking that's probably what heaven looks like. Heaven, paradise.
Isn't this place in heaven?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think there's anything that you can compare. And I'm not talking about only about nature. I'm talking about the way people keep themselves. The aesthetics of the place, which is one of my weaknesses. So the whole package was there for me, And yeah, this year I came back.
So when you mentioned volunteering, seva is what we normally refer to. How has your experience in seva been? And would you like to run through the aspects of seva that you have come across last year and this year as well?
Yes, I got to do different sevas this time around. Bhiksha, Upayoga, Chandrakund. So different activities that required being quiet or being very active, quite the opposites, which correspond quite well with me. I mean, I like this diversity, And I must say that seva itself was not something new to me, because I come from the, I have a job experience and I have quite a high work ethic. So I just continued being who I am here. But what is different is the work schedule, the schedule, the life schedule around here. I guess the biggest shock for me, even though I heard about this but probably was not properly prepared, was the way, people wake up around here with the music and fluorescent light. That is the biggest, adjustment I had to make. But I must say that after I got used to it, I'm enjoying it pretty much because, if you happen to leave dorm while it's still dark and you slowly watch the sunrise, and this is one of the most magical moments in a day for me. So yeah, even though it might not have been very, comfortable in the beginning, but what came out of it was worth it.
As you earlier were saying that, back home when we are living in this materialistic world, chasing behind targets, just the idea of success and, how growth people see. What do you see how it is now after coming here and, following this path?
Yes, of course. It's, whereas in the, let's say, Western world, because that's my point of reference, Western world, success translates roughly into what you acquired materially, what titles you've collected, probably also your personal life, if you're married, how many children you have, and so on, Basically, what Sadhguru calls them, the accessories of life, right? So I would say the true success is recognizing the source and connecting to it and staying there. I think that's the true success. Because if you're in the source, if you've been properly linked, then everything will just, unfold the way it should. And it will not be as important as before for you. This will not drive you anymore. It will just be a consequence. But I guess I'm repeating Sadhguru, but that's unavoidable.
Sadhguru is all about sadhana, the kriyas that we have learned. How do we imbibe them and practice it every day? How has sadhana played a integral part in your lifestyle now?
I must say that sadhana, while being here and being at home, are two different things. You can't do it in the same way unless maybe you spend quite enough time here and you just, it becomes such a strong part of you that you just, will make it happen the way you need it. So when I was practicing in the space of my own apartment, there's a lot of distractions there, You always think, oh, I need to text back. Oh, I need to do my laundry. And you might, while doing sadhana, you might actually think back here and there. Which, it still works, you still get to do your sadhana, but I think it doesn't have the same profound effect, unfortunately. But then again, maybe it will take some time, And now that I'm here, and my sadhana also increased, I've done shunya recently, there's a tremendous change, and especially if you do it in the space of Surya Kund, which just consumes you, This is one of my favorite spaces at Isha. It consumes you whole, you don't hear anything, you're just one with everything. So also that contributes to your sadhana. And I guess now my goal is just to integrate it into myself so much that I can, repeat it wherever I am in a similar way.
So you're going to take a part of ashram within yourself wherever you go.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, you just imbibe all the energies, you store it, and then
exactly.
That's the idea of this, creating these consecrated spaces by Sadhguru.
That's the goal.
Because there is a lot of things out there. Like, for example, negativity is something that spreads faster than positivity, right? Like if there is a bouquet of flowers right in front of us, we may not get the aroma or the scent of the flowers, but if some unfortunately some animal has died far away, we could
Oh,
we could get the odor
it
on the
catches your
fire.
attention much faster. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
that's how is negativity and positivity. So it is just how we have to keep it. And I'm sure the light of the sadhana and the consecrated space that you'll be able to carry. You just have to make sure it is there lit all the time.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. So that's the lesson from the ashram. I believe that you want to take with you outside as well, wherever you go. Um, any small or daily practice that keeps you anchored even when the chaos is going around?
Most obviously, it's my sadhana. That is the daily practice that keeps me grounded and anchored. I don't think I came up with anything better so far. And if it's just on the go, where I can't exactly, sit down and meditate, I would say it's just maybe thinking back quickly, to the Shambhavi wisdom. I'm the mother of the world, and so on.
Absolutely.
I guess those things there, the little things, they flashback just when you need them to sort of, put you right back to your place where you have to be. And maybe it doesn't work always, but at least, that it's an attempt always.
Great. Any message that you would like to give the youth? Because as you know that this is the AI world which is going around right now. A lot of people are looking for something. They're searching. Do you know what they're searching for? Or is there something that they should be, looking at actually according to you?
Well, again, to quote Sadhguru, we all are looking for simply expansion, right? We're expanding ourselves. In whatever way we're expanding ourselves, the goal is always the same, right? Expansion. Either you buy a new car or you buy a new dress or you want to have a good dinner. It's all about, So I totally agree with that. That's why I repeat the words. And I don't think that you can really give any advice. I'm not really no fan of advice anymore. Because, again, to quote someone else, when a student is ready, master appears. That's all I can say. Because if you really, go with your intuition, with your gut, it will lead you where you have to be. And you don't need any advice, because advice might work for you, might have worked for you, but it will not work for them. So it will just sound like, empty words. Unless it's something profound, unless it's something, earth-shaking, which, it's not so easy. That's why I think, it's just have to wait. Just have to be ready, and then it will happen.
That's a very wise answer. Do you think spirituality can be cool, or does it have to be serious?
Well, the way Sadhguru does it sure is cool. I think that's why it attracts many young people,
Yes.
And no, obviously it doesn't have to be serious. I mean, it's not about, the more serious you are, the closer you are to your grave, right?
Yes, true.
No, I think joy is an integral part of it, definitely.
Of course.
No, it has to be light. I think it has to be very light, and also meditation, right? It's not about, making a serious face and just trying to look very serious. No, it's just about, being true to yourself, true your nature, being true to your nature. And your nature is joyful, right? And no, I can't imagine. I'm actually not a serious person myself. I might appear that at times, but truthfully, not so much.
So how do you balance worldly ambition with inner silence?
That's hard to tell, because at the moment I'm actually removed myself from the worldly ambition for some time, and so far I haven't gotten back, in that material sphere, like in a true sense. So it's hard for me at the moment to get back to you on that. I think just if you spend long enough connecting to yourself and to everything around you, if you can truly hold on to it, if you can truly find it, this empty space within you, then it will be there, and everything will just unfold the way it should. You know what I mean? But you have to invest. You have to invest in that. It's not a 5 minute a day, magic. No.
So it's mostly first you invest in yourself, you dive deep within, and then whatever you do outside will happen. Or if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter.
It's also fine, yes. But I think everybody, it might happen differently for everyone.
Yes.
Some people are much more aware already, so it might happen much faster for them. Some people might need a lot more persuasion. And it will take some time for them. But as soon as you found it, the truth for yourself, I think there's no need to balance anything.
So what do you think the biggest misconception people of our age may have about Sadhguru or Isha? Have you come across any questions?
Yes, many times, especially here in India. Mostly, actually, unfortunately, while I was taking a cab or maybe staying, because I was doing some volunteering outside in India, teaching English. And there's a lot of, maybe not a lot, but I just, it stayed in my mind. There's occasional comments about commercial nature of the ashram. To what I would always say, but the goals are much higher here, and it has to happen this way, it has to involve that much of attention if you want to move something bigger in this world. And I mean, it didn't really impact me. I was a little bit saddened, I guess, but at the same time.
Would you like to elaborate as to what commercially?
It's just that's the general answer when you talk about Sadhguru to someone. You would sometimes might hear, oh yeah, but that this place is so commercial, and they don't elaborate really. They just say this place is so commercial. And I did happen to be in a different ashram, and in my eyes, it was just as commercial as, I mean, if that's what you call commercial. But I was told them, but you want to, if you want to, stay, let's say, in a room, to have your private room, would you like it to be for free? To stay in a nice room? Would you like to be educated about certain things like yoga? Would you like it to be for free? I mean, where did you have it for free? I mean, that is the misconception, The thing is, because it's so big, because it's grown so, immense, because it has so many goals, material goals as well as spiritual, that's the misconception. People think there's too much money involved, but the goals are very high. The stakes are so high, of course. How else would you do that?
Well, I'm really glad, looking that's how you see things, because when people say commercial, yes, mouths cannot be fed just simply like that. You don't need air and water only, you have to have food, and it has to come from somewhere. Absolutely. And what Sadhguru has been going all across. I mean, I didn't even know these countries' name that it existed, apart from looking at the globe or, going through the Google world if you're just scrolling. But Sadhguru has been to those places only because people were seeking. I think during the lockdown, this inner engineering online thing was promoted because there are not many places that, classes were happening. Like I did my inner engineering back in Mumbai. I think there were 100 participants, and there were Isha volunteers who were from the same area community, that they come together and make things happen for the participants. But what about a place like Ecuador? There are not many people who are already existing. There are people coming from all over the places, but all over the world, like you have come from overseas, but not many people in India would make their way all towards South India, coming to Coimbatore and staying in the ashram. Um, that's why Sadhguru's vision is to create such spaces all across so it can be easily accessible for people. And that again requires some
It requires
finance.
a lot. You
Yes.
can't do those things
And that's the reason why
with no means.
all these things takes place.
Yes, and it's
Yeah.
just I don't think it also comes from a very enlightened mindset. It's just a very sort of a superficial kind of judgment. There's so much money there. All right, people talk. Oh, okay, no, bad. People don't think much before they make a conclusion like that. And also, I never really take it upon myself to convince. I would just, again, feel saddened a little bit that they actually don't take advantage of what is happening in their own country. But at the same time, I'm thinking it's probably just not their time. It's okay.
And also, people think that only the volunteers run the ashram. Yes, volunteers play a major role. Even the swamis and the mas and all the brahmacharis, they are playing a major role. And the volunteers, the purnangas, but there are sevadars. A lot of things that happens behind. They are not
Behind
the ones
scenes.
seen. Like in the Akshaya, you have many people working there. If you may have noticed the golf cars that take people around from the stay area, those are sevadars. They're not volunteers. They need to be paid, right? So the
course.
money has to come from somewhere.
Because of the expansion, because of the size of it, again, right?
True.
You can't just achieve it by simple means. It has to be something much more profound, of course, which is a lot. I mean, it is very obvious to the one who has, who has been here, who has seen, the scope of it, at least what you can see here, because I'm sure the scope is much bigger than what you even see here.
Yes.
And I must say that I can tell you a funny thing. When I came here, after my shunya, I stayed in a cottage, which is the furthest from the center. And
Shivapadam 3 and 4.
And I was, oh no, how will I make it? Because I have to go back to the room once in a while. And you know what? I ended up actually walking several times a day. And I enjoyed that walk so much. The amount of nature, the amount of animals I've seen. This has been a pleasure, Actually, at that moment, I was thankful that the size of this ashram is that big, because you just have this, space to breathe,
How has Seva changed the way you look at work or life right now?
Well, as I said before, I do have quite a sufficient work experience. And I haven't done my seva any more differently than I would do my work. I mean, there's always been a lot of dedication when it comes to work. But I guess what is, of course, different is that, first of all, there's always a sadhana. That is a very important part of it. So you start with the sadhana and you finish with sadhana. Depends on the seva. And I guess there is so much gratitude, within the volunteers, that it just rubs off, and it creates a sort of state of bliss, amongst all of it, among all the craziness, all the running around. It depends which seva, but I'm talking about Bhiksha Hall, of course.
Yeah, I mean, how
That is
people
the
just...
seva.
That is the seva, yes. I just, when I came to the ashram, I was like, how can a person just throw themselves so totally? How can they just get so involved and not get paid for it also, But sadhana does that to you. When you are saying those 5 aspects, as you mentioned, mother to the world. And when you live that, it's totally different.
It is, as I said, it starts with sadhana, and it definitely becomes the central part of the whole day. And the space itself, the consecrated space, has definitely a very different effect on you than any other workspace. And I would say that the fact that actually it's not paid, definitely creates a huge difference as well. Because when you are paid, there's always, a lot of expectations. There's always a lot of, some sort of, I would say, calculations. If you will. But if it's just about giving yourself to the work and not expecting anything in return, I'm guessing it can't be the same. It just can't, because it's based on different principles. It's based completely on completely different principles than work. It's just doing something together. It's just uniting so many people in the activity, that makes a difference.
Great. Well, we have gone through a lot of serious questions, now some fun intended. All right. So let's talk about the food. Which is your favorite sweet?
Oh, yes. I've actually been thinking about it, and it's not served so often. And I'm not sure I know the name. I think it's laddu. It's this kind of dark colored laddu.
Is it ragi laddu, which is like
Could be.
reddish?
It's sort
Red
of
brownish?
It's sort of red brownish, and it doesn't have really anything in it, any other texture. Yeah, it's quite
Plain, this powder.
And oh my God, for me, that's the best.
So it's made of jaggery, ghee, ragi.
Yes.
These are the main ingredients.
I think it might taste similar to Mysore pak. Is it possible? At least it's similar, I would say. Maybe it's not exactly the same.
How is the texture? Is it like?
I would say it's just those sort of
It's not round. It's square. You mean the triangle?
You're talking about what's served in Bhiksha? That's round.
Not necessarily. Whichever sweet that you may have come across.
That's the one I'm talking about. The round.
The brown laddu
yes.
is ragi
Yes,
laddu.
yes.
Yes.
So that's definitely the one I'm always looking forward to, but unfortunately it doesn't come that often.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Since we're talking about Bhiksha Hall and the food, spicy or non-spicy?
Non-spicy. And it's not that I don't like spicy, but it's just, not recommended, too much of spice. That's why. I mean, it's not about, I like Indian, maybe let's set it clear. I'm not talking about traditional spices like cinnamon or something, no, or black pepper. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about chili. In that way, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about non-spicy because those things I love.
Let me take this. Whenever I ask, especially any person from, overseas, they would say spicy. There is not much of a difference between the spicy and non-spicy food. You know how the food is made non-spicy. In the end, just make it spicy. What they do is you have this long, dried red chili.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Right.
So because I do love the traditional spices, the ones that you usually find in biryani. Mm-hmm. I love them, all of them. And I like just to kind of, taste the texture on my tongue as well, if they're like whole. But it's, the chili, that's the one that I try not to eat too much, even though I also enjoy it sometimes.
Point taken.
Yeah.
All right. Great. So which temple are you inclined towards the most? Devi temple or Dhyanalinga?
When I came first time last year, I think I was much more drawn by Dhyanalinga for obvious reasons. But then somewhere towards the middle of my stay, I rediscovered Devi temple. And I think tears just started pouring down my face and I couldn't explain that. And that was the moment when I actually fell in love with it. And for me, it's both, I would say. It's both. It's just they accomplish different goals, It's very different.
Shiva Shakti.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yes. Just one last question before we sign off. What does Gen Zen mean to you as a seeker of this generation?
Oh, I guess I will disappoint you very much right now. Nothing. Because I'm way beyond that generation, and it's just a funny word.
So when I was making these podcasts, when I was making these interviews, I had not decided what page will I keep what name will I keep for the page, But then I wanted this to be more relatable with the Gen Z,
Ah,
so that they know what exactly how life is to be spiritual and what Sadhguru is all about. So that's why this just name appeared out of nowhere, the Gen Zen.
I think it's a good name because the goal in the end is to appeal to the younger generation, right?
Yes.
So then
Because they're going to be the future. They're the ones
they
who are
are
going
the
to drive
ones
the
that
world.
shaping, yes. So
Yes.
I think this is, but then, for me, it's just funny. But I understand the point behind it. Yes.
Great. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for your valuable time. You're flying back. I believe you're flying to Vietnam. So you have a safe and happy journey.
Thank you so much.
Until then, keep alive the Zen within.
Keep the spirit.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.